Hi, everybody. It's Miss Niehoff. I'm here as your surprise reader. I hope everybody's having an awesome summer. We miss you guys at school. We're busy getting everything ready so that everything's ready to go when you come back in September. So tonight, I'm going to share some of my family's favorite books with you guys. The first one I want to share is called Little Owl Lost. It's the little owl and his mama. Uh-oh. What happened to Baby Owl? Bump, bump, bump. Baby Owl, he fell. Are you okay? Asked Squirrel. I'm lost, said Little Owl. Where's my mommy? Don't worry, little friend. I'll find your mommy. What does she look like? It's a nice friend he has there, isn't it? He must be a CLES dolphin. My mommy isn't very big, like this, said Little Owl. Yes, I know, said Squirrel. Follow me. Here's your mommy. Here she is. Uh-oh, is that Owl's mommy? No, said Little Owl. That's not my mommy. My mommy has pointy ears like this. Yes, I know, said Squirrel. Follow me. Here she is. Here's your mommy. No, said Little Owl. That's not my mommy. My mommy has big eyes like this. Yes, I know, said Squirrel. Follow me. Here she is. Here's your mommy. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. No, said Little Owl. That's not my mommy either. Wait a minute, said Frog. I know your mommy. Follow me. Your mommy's looking everywhere for you. Is this your mommy? Yes, here she is. Here's my mommy. Oh, the mommy looks like she was worried. Oh, thank you, said Mommy Owl. Why don't you come up to our nest for some cookies? Yes, please, said Squirrel. Cookies are my favorite thing. Oh, there they all are. Uh-oh, look at Baby Owl. Uh-oh. Boy, I hope he doesn't fall again. But I do hope that he stays friends with that squirrel because he really helped him out. All right, now, boys and girls, this is one of my absolute favorite books. It's called Giraffes Can't Dance. And I love it because my family likes to joke me because I'm not a very good singer, but I love to sing. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of myself. I can make a connection to this book. So Giraffes Can't Dance. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at his knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really, really bad. God, look at all the animals that are there. The warthogs started waltzing, the rhinos rocked and rolled, the lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. Wow. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked towards the floor, but the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool." "Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." Oh, that's not very nice. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off the dance floor and he started walking home. He never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on, "but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is the branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves started shuffling, making circles in the ground. His neck was gently swaying. His tail was swooshing around. Boys and girls, what's he doing? Dancing. He threw his legs out sideways and he swung them everywhere. And then he did a backward somersault and leapt up into the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. "I'm dancing. Yes, I'm dancing. I'm dancing," Gerald cried. Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle. We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find the music we love." Oh, I just love that book. I hope if you have a connection to that book, you can share it with your parents while you're listening and while we're waiting for the next book. I have 2 books left, boys and girls, and these 2 are absolute favorites in my house: Where the Wild Things Are and Goodnight Gorilla. So I'm going to read Where the Wild Things Are, and then our last book will be Goodnight Gorilla, because that's our bedtime book in this house. All right, Where the Wild Things Are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. There's Max. Oh, he looks like he's being naughty. And another. His mother called him Wild Things, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world around him. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. until Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring at all their yellow eyes without blinking once, and they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all the wild things. "And now," cried Max, "let the wild rumpus start." Oh boy, look what they're doing. Boys and girls, what do you think the word rumpus means? Let the wild rumpus start. And then you see them, they're kind of acting crazy, right? They're dancing and hollering. Oh, they're climbing. They're playing. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Who do you think put his supper there? And it was still hot. Oh, I love that book. All right, boys and girls, it's for our very last book. It's called Goodnight Gorilla. And this book is so special to our family because someone gave me this book right before my oldest son was born. And so he is almost 14 years old. And he is the oldest of 5 boys. So every boy has heard this book before they go to bed every night. So it's an old book, but it's a family favorite for us. Goodnight, Gorilla. And when you're reading this book, boys and girls, you do a lot of inferencing. You look at the pictures and you figure out what's going on because there's not many words in this book. Good night, Gorilla. There's the zookeeper putting the gorilla coat, saying goodnight to the gorilla, and look what the gorilla doing. Uh-oh. Good night, elephant. Good night, lion. Good night, hyena. Good night, giraffe. Good night, armadillo. Oh, there's the zookeeper heading home. Look who's following behind him. Right into his house. He's getting ready to go to sleep himself. Good night, dear. All right, now get ready because this is the favorite page in our house. You ready? Yep. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Who are all those good nights from? Uh-oh. Mama's awake. Mama turns on the light. Who does she see in the house? So there she goes, bringing everybody back to the zoo. And she says, good night, zoo. Good night, dear. Good night. But there's still one guy there. Good night, gorilla. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed your goodnight stories, and I hope you come back next week and listen again for some more stories from another surprise reader. I hope everybody's having a happy and safe summer, and please remember to read every day so that when you come back to school in September, you can tell us about all the wonderful things that you learned over the summer by reading. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.